welcome to Classy Chassis with me, Ryan. Hope you're all doing well. And welcome back to the GT rebuild. Now, as you can see, I'm in the middle of stripping the front. I've already taken this light out and this indicator. Everything so far is going okay. I'm just coming unstuck with this front bumper. The two bolts in the middle have come out okay, but the ones either side, typical, they've rotten. They're going to have to be cut out with a grinder. It won't damage the bumper, it'll just damage the bolts. But that's easy. What am I going to do after that? Well, the other night, I do a lot of thinking at night. I was looking at this GT and I thought to myself, how much is it going to cost in labour for the body shop? We know it needs the back end redoing in the boot floor. A lot of labour in that, a lot of money. We know it's going to need a new passenger floor. Again, it's got to be cut out, new one put in, welded up. 2 cells, 2 inner cells. So, already you're looking 3-4 weeks worth of welding, because, they're not going to just jump on this car and be like the A-team, 6 men just all jumping on. They're going to do it every other day, because they're busy. They restore minis. But now we need a front end. Now, I'm lucky enough, I've managed to buy brand new, second-hand, heritage front panel for a Clubman and 2 wings. Great. They'll, do the right dimensions. They'll fit straight on. Great. But what I was thinking about, how long is it going to take the garage to take this old front end off? Now, they're not butchers. They're not just going to get a grinder and cut them, pull them off, get the new panels, put them on and just weld. They will drill out all the spot welds, because that's what these minis are made up of, spot welds. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but drilling out spot welds is a long, drawn-out process. And, it could take one guy all day, because you've got to find the spot welds, drill them out, and hopefully it all comes away. So it's late at night as usual. I've got nothing to do. So I'm going to attempt to do their labour for them. Now, if I can get this front end off and just be left with the inner wings, I get the brownie points, but it saves them a lot of time. It'll take one guy to put 2 wings on a front panel and weld. That shouldn't take long, hopefully, if it all lines up. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do. First of all, I'm just going to get the grinder, take this bumper off, take that light and indicator out, and then I will show you how I am going to locate the spot welds. Now, there must be, if we take a guess, say 100 spot welds. Shall we go with that? We can do a count after. Now, that doesn't sound a lot, but when you're just drilling, and you've got to get it bang on, you've got to get it right. But that's going to take a few hours. I'm not going to let you watch it for hours, because that'd be like watching paint dry. But you'll see little snippets, and hopefully at the end result, you'll see me pull this off. And it'll either be good, or the worst case scenario, it's going to be bad. And then I'm going to have to, it's going to cost me more money buying inner wings because I've damaged them. We don't want that. We want fingers crossed. We want positive vibes. Yeah, she's been a little bugger and she is fighting me in little places. But hopefully, we're going to make her good and she's going to work with us. Yeah, I'm waffling on because I'm scared. The longer I talk to you, it makes me realise what am I going to do. but it needs to be done, doesn't it? Eh? It's all about saving money. You know, we're all in that situation. These projects cost money, and you know, if you can do your little bit, which that's what I'm trying to do, then it won't be as bad at the end of the day. Plus, you know, when the car's all done, I want to stand back and say, you know what, I had input in this car. I didn't just buy it, send it off to a specialist, let them do all the hard work. You know, I want to get my hands dirty, which I have. You know, you got to. For somebody, it's not mechanically minded. You know, I haven't done a bad job so far. You know, taking the engine out and subframe and interior. This is where it gets a bit more technical because you got to be careful. Anyway, Ryan, stop waffling. They want to see you making a mess because that's what you're here for. Friday nights with Ryan making a mess. So I'm going to start with this, and then I'll come back to you in a minute, and we'll start the operation. Right, hopefully you can see here. I've made a start. I'm using the heat gun to take off the paint and just scraping it, and then you can see the dimples, the nose dimples of the spot welds, and just to have a better idea where they are, and just then running some wire wool just to clean it all up so I can get the exact middle, the center of the spot weld. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll just give you a quick example. So I've got an idea where they are, but then use the wire wool and while it's still warm. And there you go. You can just make them out at the top edge along this inner wing where it's pressed together on the outer wing. So as you can see, it is time consuming. So there should be a row along here, a row across this front part, and then a row just down. That will then hopefully, when either side, that will remove the front. The outer wing will be these, little bit of a tack weld on this corner, and then it's the seam it runs down, but I think this has had a wing on or an A panel, so where they've cut it before, they've just blob welded, which will be a lot easier to cut with the grinder. So far so good. So I'm just going to clean them all up, and then when I'm ready to use the proper drill bit, I'll come back to you. One, two, three. So you can't just use a normal drill bit to drill out the spot welds. You have to buy a special spot weld drill bit kit, which I've purchased from Machine Mart, and it consists of these little sleeves, and they've got really sharp teeth on them, and it connects to your drill bit, and you've got like a center punch in the middle, and then these teeth are on the outside. So you place it on or round about the centre of your spot weld, press in, and then as it presses in onto the spot weld, these teeth start taking the edge of the spot weld out, and it should break off. I don't know how many of these I'm going to get through. They're double-sided, so once one side's blunt, you flip them over. So I've got enough, hopefully, to do this front end. So I'll quickly demonstrate one for you, and then, well, I'll keep coming back when I've got a little bit further. So forgive me, I'm doing this one-handed, but as you can see, they are the spot welds I've marked out, and I've made a start here. So you find the middle, and as you're pushing down, the little sleeve will start making contact with the metal. So I'll just show you now. And there you go. So you don't need to go too far, because then the metal will just break off, and then when the panel's off, you just get a flappy wheel and you just clean up this edge where the new panel's going to go. So I'll do these, and then we can see if we can start prizing it. Right, I thought I'd just give you a progress report. I'm 2.5 hours in. The driver's wing is now completely off. I've uncovered some problems, but I'd rather find out now than later on if it went off to the body shop. So first thing is, we've got a little rot hole here. I'm not really concerned because that probably can be patched up, because the rest of the inner wing is fine. The only other concerning part I've uncovered is when it's had a new A panel. So it looks like they've been butchering it, cutting it. The bottom of this scuttle should have a lip on it, but as you can see, it's completely flat. Cut, it's jagged. So that's going to have to be addressed. The only thing, instead of replacing all the scuttle, you can get the sides. So I think it's going to have this section cut out and a new piece put in, because it needs the lip. So when the wing goes on, it'll weld up to this A panel and weld across here and all along the top of this inner wing, and then of course onto the front panel. So I've just got to take this little piece off and dress it nice. But it's doing too much over here, because I know that's going to have to be cut. I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to start again tomorrow, but you'll see it in 2 minutes. We'll remove the passenger side wing, and hopefully we don't uncover the same problem on the other side, fingers crossed. And then we can take this front panel off. I'll dress it all up nice, get rid of all this wax oil. And then we can have a better look. We can assess what needs doing. All minis have had some sort of patchwork quilt here, mainly on the floor, the bottom. This has had some welding. They've done that neat. It's just the top, because I want it all look nice. Just give you an idea. These are the new wings. So when it does fit, you see what I mean? It'll be spot welded there, but it needs this lip here as well, as so it can just be a snug fit. So there you go. So I thought I'd just show you. I've probably saved a few £100, me doing this. So that's all that really matters. If I can save some money, as long as I make it neat for them, so they don't think it looks a mess. They can fill in the blanks what I can't do. So I'm gonna call it a night now, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. But really, I'll see you in 2 minutes. Right, so we're going to remove this side wing. Now, the A-post on the other side, it was just tack welded. It was really easy just to get the angle grind in between. But this one is a proper spot job. So what I'm going to do, because I think it might need a new A-panel. I know it looks okay here, but at the bottom it's rotted out. And it's rotting on this side of the floor. So this section of the front bulkhead and the sills and everything's going to need to be replaced. So for the sake of, and I've got a spare one of these. So to make it easier for me, I'm just going to get the grind. I'm just going to cut here and just up to here. So the wing is away from this. I'll let them take that apart. I'm going to cut here, the top of the wing, so I can remove the wing, because the spot welds are going that way. If I drill into the spot welds this way, inwards, you're going to see all the rings, what it makes. But if I do it the other side, you won't see it. So on the inner wing, it'll just be all nice and flush. And so it's just easy, because I can't get the drill because this wing's in the way. We're just going to trim this wing and remove it. That's what I'm going to do. So there you go, no more front end on the GT. I've worked it out, it's taken 9 hours to do, non-stop, apart from coffee breaks. I'm pretty chuffed. The inner wings aren't bad. Oh, my knees. Oh. There's just a small rust hole here in this bottom corner, which can have a plate put on, because when the front panel goes on, which I'll show you in a minute, it will hide that. I've managed to neaten all the edges, even down by the A panels either side. There was 84 spot welds that I've drilled out, and I've used one of those sleeves, and it's done all that. So that's been worth its money. So I'll just show you this front panel quickly. So this is a Heritage front panel, and I'll just line it up. And doesn't that look a lot different already? So we get in there. I can see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So what I'm going to do, probably the next video, I said I was going to do it, but it's getting late now. We'll tidy all the inner and outer wings, get all them cleaned up. We'll take this door off. I've got to take the fuel tank out the back and the back lights. And then that is pretty much it for the GT, all stripped. I've just got to have a good tidy up in the unit. And then we'll get it booked in for the welding work. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. You can see my breath, it's that cold now. Don't forget to like, share, and if you're new and you like what you see, press the subscribe button. I'm getting there. I'm getting close to 1,000 now, so I'm excited. I'm chuffed that I've got a good following so far. So yeah, look after yourselves. Have a good week, and I'll see you next Friday. Take care.